Today, we're going over the top 8 best cards to consider here in 2022 so far. Whether you're new to credit cards or just looking for more rewards like I am, I'm sure one of the cards today will fit your needs. So in no particular order, let's kick it off with the amazing Discover It cashback credit card. This is a no annual fee card that's relatively easy to get, with reports of people getting it with scores in the low to mid 600s. And the reason for this popularity is because you'll be getting 5% back when spending at certain places every quarter, with categories in 2022 ranging from groceries and gyms to gas, restaurants, and Amazon, all up to $1,500 a quarter in spend. But the reason for this card's awesomeness is because of its unlimited cash back match in the first year. This is a perk that will match you dollar for dollar on all of your cash back in the first year with no limits whatsoever. That means your cash back essentially goes from 5% in the categories to 10%, and 1% everything else to 2%. There are no other cards out there that will give you 10% cash back in such broad categories. Now, this card doesn't have all the bells and whistles like extended warranty and travel protections that some other cards may have, but they do have some basic things like $0 fraud liability guarantee, easy controls through the app, SSN alerts, and online privacy protections. There are some other variants of the card, like a student version that should be easier to get, as well as a bunch of different designs that you can customize your card with. So whether it's your first credit card or just want more rewards, the Discover It cashback card is hard to beat with this 10% in categories in the first year. And because it has no annual fee, I recommend keeping it open past the first year because it'll continue to help build your credit score. Next, we have a card that's more unique, which is the Built Rewards credit card. This is another no annual fee card that will get you 3 times points on dining, 2 times on travel, and 1 times on all other purchases, including rent, with a transaction fee waived. Yes, you read that right. This card will waive the transaction fee and help you earn points on your rent payments. They'll even send the check to the property every month if you can't pay for it through their app. Once earned, these points can then be redeemed in a few different ways, including paying off your rent, where the value depends on the property, or saving up for a down payment where you'll get up to 1.5 cents a point in value. But the best part here is being able to transfer to one of their travel partners at a 1-to-1 rate, where you can then potentially redeem at upwards of 2 cents a point. For example, transferring to Hyatt and staying at one of their hotels, valuing your points at about 3 cents a point. The card also comes with a whole host of other benefits, like getting trip protection and no foreign transaction fees, to dining credits like DoorDash and more. There's even different tiers of status you can earn in order to multiply the rewards you get from the card. Overall, I think the main selling point of this card is being able to earn points on your rent, especially for people living in high cost of living cities like New York, San Francisco, or Seattle. You could be earning thousands of points every month for doing nothing special. And with the card having no annual fees, it doesn't cost you anything to go through this path too. Now, overall, I believe everyone should at least be getting 2% back on all their spend without paying a dime in fees. And that's why the next card does exactly that, which is the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. With this card, you're paying $0 in annual fees while getting an unlimited 2% cash back on all of your purchases with no cap whatsoever. Both of which are awesome features for a card to build the foundation of your wallet. What's more is that this card comes with unique protections like cell phone protection, up to $600 of damage or theft if you use the card to pay off its monthly bills. But the cherry on top is getting $200 in bonus when you spend $1,000 in the first 3 months. To put it into perspective, that's like getting 20% return on your money for those first $1,000, a return that you won't find anywhere else. So between the Discover It cashback card and the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, you've built a strong foundation for your wallet, getting 5% back in certain categories, as well as 2% back on everything else. However, although these returns are pretty good, I'd consider these more basic cards. There are a lot more cards that can give you a lot more rewards for just just a little bit more work. And that's why we have to talk about the powerful Chase ecosystem, starting with the no annual fee Chase Freedom Unlimited card. Similar to the Active Cash, you'll get a $200 bonus, but with only half the spend at $500 in the first 3 months. It'll also give you 5% back at gas station spend in the first year. Given how inflation is playing out and that gas prices have gone through the roof, this can help dampen that cost. Also, this card has more service and protections than the Active Cash card has, giving purchase protection, extended warranty, and trip cancellation insurance that could save you hundreds if not thousands of dollars when put to use. For example, if you bought earphones and either damaged it in the wash or left it on a bus, you can claim through Chase and get those couple $100s back in your pocket. Then in terms of spending, you'll get 5% back on travel when booked through their portal, 3% on dining in drugstores, and 1.5% back on everything else. Now you might wonder why I'm recommending a card that gives you 1.5% on everything else, where a card like the Wells Fargo Active Cash already gives you 2%. Well, that's because cash back on Chase cards will be given out in points instead, which can be redeemed for 1 cent per point, giving you the 1.5% cash back. But there are a lot of other ways to get even more value from these points. For example, you can combine with one of their Sapphire cards to get up to 1.5 cents per point redemption when booking for things like travel through their portal. That would essentially bump up all the cash back rates on this card, bringing the 1.5% up to 2.25%, which is higher than the Active Cash. And if you instead transfer these points to one of Chase's travel partners, you could be getting much more than that too, like getting 2 to 4 cents a point when booking hotel stays around the world, or getting 8 to 10 cents a point when flying business or first class, both of which will really supercharge the return you get from these cards. And that's why Chase is such a powerful ecosystem, because it lets you pool points together. Which brings me to the next card, the Chase Freedom Flex. Now, if the Freedom Unlimited is Chase's version of the Wells Fargo Active Cash, then the Freedom Flex is similar to the Discover card. And that's because the main selling point of this card is also getting 5% back in certain categories up to the same $1,500 in spend every quarter. Just like the Discover card, the categories here are pretty broad, with the ones this year so far, including groceries and eBay to even Amazon. And remember, Chase cash back is given out in points, so although you can redeem at 1 cent a point, you can redeem at much higher values through other methods. Personally, I get this card purely for the 5% back categories, and I would put all other non-eligible spend on cards like the Freedom Unlimited or the Active Cash, because those cards have a much higher catch-all category. You'll also get a sign-up bonus of $200 for a $500 spend in the first 3 months, with the 5% cashback at gas stations in the first year, as well as an up to $800 per claim cell phone protection and a few other perks like Lyft and ShopRunner. So I'd say that you can't go wrong with any of the cards we've talked about so far, especially when they all have no annual fee and most of them come with a couple $100s in sign-up bonuses. If you want to stick to the bases, then the Discover It Cashback card and Wells Fargo Active Cash are solid choices. But if you want to get more involved, get even more value, and level up your credit card journey, then the Freedom Unlimited and Freedom Flex are the way to go, because both cards will get supercharged when paired with our next card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. This is a card that will earn you 60,000 points when you hit the minimum spend of $4,000 in the first 3 months. A much higher spend, so make sure you have enough natural spend coming up to cover that cost. There is a $95 annual fee, but it's offset by getting $50 in credit for hotel stays when booked through their portal. Then when it comes to spending, most categories are similar to the Freedom cards, with the standout ones being 2 times on travel and 3 times on select streaming services. Now, I don't think the streaming services category will make much of a dent, but 2 times in travel can come in really useful. There's also a 10% anniversary bonus for points on the amount spent every year. Now, remember how I said you can supercharge your Chase points with one of the Sapphire cards? Well, with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can redeem points at an elevated 1.25 cents a point for travel through their portal. If you instead want to redeem for the higher 1.5 cents a point, you would have to go with a $550 annual fee Chase Sapphire Reserve. So given the preferred is a more premium card, it comes with a whole bunch of perks as well, including travel protections to primary rental car insurance, baggage delay, as well as some partner benefits like Lyft, DoorDash, and a $10 monthly credit to GoPuff, which can easily offset the annual fee if used. This card also has no foreign transaction fee, which is usually a 3% charge when you're spending abroad. Both Freedom cards and the Wells Fargo Active Cash will charge you this fee. Now with the 3 cards we just went over, the Freedom Unlimited, Flex, and Sapphire Preferred, they make up the popular Chase trifecta, which is a powerful combo given how well each card's strength complement each other. But even though the Chase ecosystem is very powerful, having multiple cards can get a bit complicated. If you want one card that covers a bunch of bases and will even pay you to keep the card open, then you'll want to consider the Capital One Venture X card. Now this is a more premium card at a $395 annual fee, but all the perks and credits it has are easy and straightforward to use. First, you'll get 75,000 points when spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. Again, don't stretch yourself to try and hit this goal, but try and plan this card around any big purchases that are already coming up. Now to try and offset the annual fee, this card comes with an annual $300 travel credit when booked through their portal, as well as 10,000 miles worth $100 in travel starting year 2 and onwards. That means year over year, that's $400 in credits while only paying $395 in annual fee, essentially making it pay you $5 a year to keep the card open. Then when it comes to spending, you'll get a whopping 10 times on hotels and car rentals and 5 times on flights, all when booked through the portal, as well as 2 times points on everything else. You'll also get lounge access with free guests at over 1,000 locations around the world, as well as Soundful protection, free additional card holders, and a whole bunch of other perks I go over in my full review up in the corner. If you're interested in all the in-depth reviews on a bunch of the cards we talk about today, links will be down below. That said, I think the Capital One Venture X card is the go-to premium card, given the easy to use credits that will offset the annual fee, tons of perks, and the ability to transfer points to their travel partners to redeem for even more value. Next up is a card that will likely be my next, which is the American Express Gold card. This is a card that has a usual sign-up bonus of 60,000 points when spending $4,000 in the first 6 months, so double the duration of the other cards. However, there are offers out there that will give you 75,000 points for the same spend and 20% back on restaurants up to $250 in the first 12 months. That itself is already an amazing sign-up bonus, but we're just getting started. A big reason why I want this card is because of the 4 times back on restaurant spend, as well as 4 times back on groceries, an insane return on 2 major everyday categories. Not only that, but there's a $120 credit at a few restaurants, as well as $120 in Uber credit given throughout the year. If you're able to make use of both credits, that's $240 in rewards, bringing the annual fee down to an effective $10. And just like Chase, American Express is one of the most sought after ecosystems because of the flexibility of their points. And personally, I usually value American Express and Chase points at about 2 cents a point in value, making the return on all of these cards even more attractive. Alright, and now for a bonus card that I'd recommend for a lot of people, which is the Amazon Prime Rewards card. With over 75 million households in the US having Amazon Prime, this is a card that should be on most people's radar, because not only does it give you $100 when you sign up, but it'll give you 5% back when spending at Amazon or Whole Foods. With Amazon basically being the everything store, being able to get 5% back on all of that spend with no limit is amazing. Alright, so those are the 8+1 cards you should consider in 2022 so far. But remember, always spend within your means and don't go out of your way to try and spend to hit minimum spend or get points, because that would just defeat the purpose. If you use credit cards properly, you will never pay a dime in late fees or interest charges. Personally, using some of the cards we covered today and a few others, I've managed to accumulate over 1 million points, valued at over $18,000 today. And so if you're interested, I'll see you over in this video where I break it all down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.